Take a look at that. Over the second half of the season in each of the last 3 years, they ran the table in 2010. They ran the table again last year, and 2-0 in games 9 and 10 this year. So 18 straight second half of the season wins. Rex Ryan, in his 4th year as the Jets head coach, took the team to the AFC Championship game in each of the first 2 years. They got that close to the Super Bowl. And as you take a look at the teams on the field, with Devin McCourty back to receive the kick, Nick Folk to kick off, the Jets won the toss, elected to defer, which means we will see Brady right off the bat, and McCourty will take it back from the 2-yard line and be stopped at the 19-yard line. And let's take a look at the Patriots starters.
Tom Brady, Michigan.
Stephen Ridley, Louisiana State University.
Wes Welker, Texas Tech.
Brandon Lloyd, Illinois.
Julian Edelman, Kent State.
Aaron Hernandez, Florida.
Nate Solder, Colorado.
Donald Thomas, UConn.
Ryan Wendell, Fresno State.
Dan Connolly, Southeast Missouri.
Marcus Cannon, TCU.
Cannon is starting in place of the injured Sebastian Vollmer. And you got Thomas starting for Logan Mankins, but they do get Connolly back this week at right guard. Welker goes in motion to the inside, and Brady off play action is under pressure and gets it away, and the pass is incomplete, and it will be grounding as well. Muhammad Wilkerson, who's really been playing extremely well of late for the Jets, puts the heat on Brady, and Brady's in the pocket, and thus it'll be grounding. Here's Mike Carey.
Intentional grounding, offense to the 12. After distance to the goal. Loss of down, second down.
Muhammad Wilkerson right here going up against Donald Thomas, who is the backup left guard for Logan Mankins, out of this game. And boy, they have spent a lot of time talking about Wilkerson. You'll see Brady going down, no receiver in sight. Good call.
Second down and 20 now from the 10-yard line. So the Jets put immediate heat on Brady. And Brady telling us last night, you never know how much they'll blitz. Sometimes they'll blitz all the time. Sometimes they won't blitz very much, as was the case in the game at New England. And they give the ball to Stephen Ridley, who takes it out to the 15-yard line. He's tackled there by Kyle Wilson. Brady with the team since 2000, so 13 years, came with Belichick, and of course ascended to the #1 spot in 2001 when Drew Bledsoe was knocked out of the game and most of the rest of his career by Mo Lewis of the Jets. Brady became the starter. Brady took him to the Super Bowl, and you know the rest of the story. 3rd and 14 from the 15-yard line. To the outside, he goes to Edelman, and Edelman gets a block, but then a nice tackle is made at the 22-yard line by Jeremiah Bell to make sure he didn't escape from there and pick up the first down. So it's 4th and 6, and the Patriots begin with a 3-and-out.
Check out this defense, Rex Ryan. They're going to never give Tom Brady the same look. They have 22 what they call simulated pressures in this game. 22 different ways they can fake a blitz at Tom Brady to give him different looks.
Zoltan Mesko is the punter. Kyle Wilson will run it back for the Jets. And Wilson fields at the 34 and then just has to cover up at that point. So the Jets come out onto the field, and let's take a look at their starters.
Mark Sanchez, USC.
Sean Green, Iowa.
Lex Hilliard, University of Montana.
Stephen Hill, Miller Grove High School.
Jeremy Curley, Texas Christian University.
Dustin Keller, Purdue University. DeBrooke Shell Ferguson, University of Virginia.
Matt Slauson, Nebraska.
Nick Mangold, The Ohio State University.
Brandon Moore, Illinois.
Austin Howard, University of Northern Iowa.
And they begin the game also now with Clyde Gates, the second-year wide receiver from Abilene Christian, splitting wide to the right. In motion goes Schillings. And they start with a play fake and pressure, much as New England did with Brady off play action. This time it's Hightower, the rookie #1 draft choice out of Alabama, who comes in for the sack.
Dante Hightower has been one of these guys that every time I watch him on tape and you do any sort of gimmicky play, it just never seems to work with him. They talk about his intelligence, how well trained he was in college with Nick Saban, and game after game you see it.
6-yard sack makes it 2nd down and 16 from the 29-yard line. And on the ground. And they ran the ball 41 times last weekend at St. Louis. Here's Sean Green up to the 40 as we take a look at the New England defense.
Rob Ninkovich, Purdue University.
Vince Wilfork, University of Miami.
Kyle Love, Mississippi State.
Jermaine Cunningham, Florida Gators.
Gerard Mayo, Tennessee.
Brendan Spikes, Florida.
Dante Hightower, the University of Alabama.
Aqib Talib, North Dallas, Texas.
Steve Gregory, Syracuse University.
Devin McCourty, Rutgers.
Fonzo Darrent, University of Nebraska.
That back end has been an issue. Talib came in a trade a couple of weeks ago from Tampa Bay, and the pass on 3rd down intended for Clyde Gates is incomplete. So each team begins with a sack on the first play and then a 3-and-out.
Well, Clyde Gates had a chance for this football. He's a young man that Tony Sperano drafted in Miami, got cut down there, but he has so much speed. Sperano talked him into bringing him up here, and really he's looked pretty good. We saw him in practice the other day, but missed an opportunity there.
Robert Malone to kick. Julian Edelman will field at the 7. And Edelman has some room down the sideline. And Julian Edelman, who ran one back last week against Indianapolis, takes it out to the 36-yard line. Edelman sets up Brady at that spot. 3 minutes into the game on this Thanksgiving night. From the 36-yard line on 1st down. Here's Ridley, the 2nd-year back out of LSU, having a real good season up to the 45-yard line. They let Benjarvis Green Ellis go. He winds up in Cincinnati. They draft Ridley last year in the 3rd round, and right now he is on a pace, as Brady will go no huddle, to gain 1,347 yards on the ground. He's given them a real good running game and a lot of balance in their offense, and he picks up a 1st down here, taking the ball to the 50-yard line. And again, the Patriots, as they did last year with such great effectiveness here, going without a huddle.
Yeah, and it's interesting what the Jets are doing. The Jets are staying small out there, almost daring Tom Brady to hand it off. They said they'd much rather see him hand it off than throw the football.
Play action, Brady to the left side, and it's one-handed by Aaron Hernandez. So back from the ankle injury, Hernandez takes it to the 23-yard line. So no Gronkowski, but they get Aaron back, and that's good for 27 yards.
Going to go all the way across the field. Strong play fake to the top of the screen and then come back the other way. And I'll tell you what, they just reload at tight end in New England, don't they?
From the 23. And they change it up on offense. Here's Ridley. The Patriots run more plays and have over the last 2 seasons than any team in the league because they work the no huddle to such effectiveness. They run about 70 plays a game, and the average team runs about 64.
Yeah, we got a clock on it, huh? And a play every 25 seconds. That's the fastest of any team in the NFL.
And that would also encompass the fact they have a lot of big leads and run the clock out at the end. So when they get going, they really get going, as is the case here. And on 2nd and 9. Brady moving away, buying time, throwing too high. Good coverage in the back of the end zone, intended for Lloyd, covered by Cromartie. It'll be 3rd down and 9. See, since the beginning of last season, 70 plays per game, and it's the highest average in the league. The league average just 1/10 under 64. And as Chris just said, 25 seconds per play. And in this no huddle, they're running them at about 15 to 17 seconds per play. Go 4 wide here on 3rd and 9. Brady, look at that protection. Throws underneath and it's incomplete. Welker was cutting across the formation. Pressure was put on finally by David Harris. It's 4th down, and in comes the field goal unit.
Of course, by now you know Darrelle Revis no longer here, so it is now Antonio Cromartie assuming the island out on the outside. Kyle Wilson on the other side, slipping and falling down there, but he has played well, and they just missed this one. You don't see Tom Brady and Wes Welker miss often. Oh, so 4th quarter Super Bowl I won, I can remember.
39-yard attempt for Stephen Gostkowski, and that kick is hooking and is no good. So Brady marches him down the field, but it bogs down. Gostkowski no good on the field goal attempt, and it remains scoreless at the Meadowlands. Gostowski missing a 39-yard field goal on the game's first scoring chance, so the Jets have it at that spot. On first down, Patriots show blitz and there's contact up front. Referee is Mike Carey. Vince Wilfork came across the line.
Defense number 75. 5-yard penalty, still first down. 5 yards to go.
And that is the ninth-year defensive lineman.
Yeah, it was a great snap count that time. You could see Spikes getting fooled coming up, and I just think the forward momentum of seeing Spikes flying up there kind of got Wilfork too. You're going to see that a lot out of Spikes come ripping down through the middle of the field.
On first down and 5, ball is handed off to Sean Green up to the 38-yard line. So it's clear with the Patriots, a great offense, 36 points a game. That's going to win you almost every game. But that defense has been very susceptible and vulnerable, as it was last year. Yards per game, 28th. But then they get better as the opponents get deeper into their territory, because they're only 16th or mid-pack in terms of points per game. And second in takeaways. They ran back 2 interceptions off Andrew Luck last week for touchdowns. And on second and short, big hole over the right side, and Sean Green takes the ball into New England territory to the 46-yard line, tackled by McCourty.
One of the things when you get this run through is you get isolations on the other side. So you get the one-on-one block coming through there, and if that block is successful, there's no flow over the top by the linebackers. They love playing that downhill, smashing the center kind of game with Brandon Spikes, but it gives them very little cover up if something goes wrong.
From the 47-yard line. And here's Green again. They have a 3-pronged running attack right now, because last week Bilal Powell saw quite a bit of action and scored 2 touchdowns, in fact. And then Joe McKnight would be the third back for the Jets.
You know, we've got a lot of changes for the Patriots as well. Alfonso Denard gets his first start as a rookie at the cornerback position. Aqib Talib is on the other side. So between Denard and Talib, we've got new looks outside.
Second and 6. Sanchez, short drop, and then a quick throw, and that'll be caught for a first down with forward progress to Jeff Cumberland. One of the tight ends, Dustin Keller, is their #1 tight end.
I tell you, watching Mark Sanchez last week against the Rams, I thought he was more decisive than I'd seen him in a game since the opener against the Bills, I believe it was, where he had a terrific day. And since then, I think he's been trying to grow with these receivers, right? You know, you've got Santonio Holmes has been the star receiver, and now they've got a lot of guys with very little experience out here, and they're just trying to find a way to make it work.
From the 35-yard line, the ball is handed off to Sean Green. Well, they're known for ground and pound, and you're right. When you miss Holmes, Chris, you take a look at all of the other receivers. He has the rookie Hill. He has Schillens, who played in Oakland. He's got Curley, who's been in and out of the lineup hurt. Gates came over on waivers early on. Keller's been hurt or was early in the season. So a lot of inexperience to go with him.
Yeah, and led by that guy right there, Stephen Hill, drafted this year in the 2nd round out of Georgia Tech, can absolutely fly, but he is maybe the greenest, no pun intended with the Jets, receiver I've seen in a long time in this league.
Dropped a big pass in the 4th quarter in the New England game. On 2nd and 7, the pass goes to Green, and Green will be taken down about a yard shy of the first down by Gerard Mayo, and a flag comes in.
Tell you what, Stephen Hill was behind. I think that was Talib up on top on that one. They had a chance on a little double move. Didn't see him.
Holding, defense number 96. 5-yard penalty, automatic. First down.
That is Jermaine Cunningham with the hold and an automatic first.
Chandler Jones out, Jermaine Cunningham getting the start, and one of the things they did not want Dustin Keller getting off the ball, but you can't grab him. It is Keller and Jeremy Curley who are really the two main threats in the passing game. And so we've seen with Bill Belichick coach teams elsewhere and in the past, they will jam up those guys they deem to be the greatest threats.
From the 28 on first down, here is Powell. Bilal Powell gets his first carry of the night, second year back out of Louisville. We were talking about the Jet receivers, and Holmes went out in the fourth game of the season against San Francisco. So when you take a look at the combined career statistics of all of their receivers, all the fewest by any team's active wide receivers, and mainly it's about Keller. I mean, Keller's the one guy he can really count on. With him, they're 3-3. Without him, in the 4 games in which he was injured, they're 1-3.
Of course, they played some pretty darn good defenses.
Yes, they did.
That side of the ledger, too.
2nd and 6. And Sanchez under pressure, and then has it picked off at the 15-yard line. Picked off by the former Charger, Steve Gregory. So the Jets marching down the field, already in field goal range, and then Sanchez throws a pick with 5:55 to go in a scoreless opening quarter. So the Pats with a 22nd straight regular season game with a takeaway. That's the longest current streak. So after the Patriots missed the field goal, the Jets marched down the field, but then the Gregory interception sets Brady up at the 16-yard line, first down. And they begin with a play fake and a pass that is incomplete, leading Daniel Fells by a little too much. 2nd and 10, and back we go to the interception.
Watch Kyle Arrington settle outside and invite the in cut by Jeremy Curley, because he knows he's got Steve Gregory coming in a trap coverage across the field this way. They set it up. They invited him to break inside. The Jets took the bait, and the Patriots took the ball.
Beautifully explained and photographed as well. That was perfect. 2nd and 10. And Mike carries Crew with a flag here before the snap.
12 men on the field. Defense, when the snap was imminent, in a formation, 5-yard penalty, it's still 2nd down.
New twist in the rule this year with 12 men on the field. Instead of the snap being allowed, they call it here when the snap, as Mike says, is imminent, and that will make it 2nd down and 5. A lot of new twists in the rules, as Jim Schwartz found out today in Detroit. 2nd and 5. And they give the ball to Danny Woodhead, who takes it out to the 30-yard line, and an inside handoff. Tackle there by Lancaster. First down. And let's take a look at the Jet defense.
Mo Wilkerson, Temple Ave. Shonep Ohio, University of Utah.
Mike DeVito, University of Maine.
Calvin Pace, Wake Forest.
Dave Harris,
Ottawa Hills.
Bart Scott, Southeastern Junglers. Brian Thomas, UAB.
Antonio Cromartie, Florida State.
LaRon Landry, LSU. Jeremiah Bell, Eastern Kentucky.
Kyle Wilson, Boise State.
And as the defense introduces himself, there is Mr. Landry batting it away from Wes Welker. Nice play by the former Redskin. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
Watch coming across here, but LaRon Landry is going to drop late underneath this ball. Really doesn't see it, turns his head around. Pretty amazing. A guy that's come off of back-to-back years with Achilles injuries has come in and just made a huge difference here. They call him suicide mission around here. Said he comes down as hard as anybody.
2nd and 10, and a big hole on the right side as Ridley carries for a gain of 9. Tackled there by Kyle Wilson. And New England again going no huddle as they did on their last drive, but making some switches here.
Yeah, kind of interesting. They get in a 3rd and 1 situation and substitute, which allows the Jets to put some bigger guys on the field. And remember, Tom Brady in quarterback sneak situations is almost unstoppable. I think 40 in a row.
Yep, started to go no huddle and then brought in the big package. It's 3rd down and 1. And they toss the ball to Vereen, and Shane Vereen takes it out to the 45, tackled there by Bell, and a first down.
Well, when you know that stat about Tom Brady, what do? You kind of fake the inside run. Everybody's jammed up, and you flip the thing out to Shane Vereen, who is kind of the athlete. He was actually drafted ahead of Stephen Ridley. And then on the outside, you've got Cromartie and Edelman trying not to hurt their knees.
Now at the 45-yard line on first down. 4 minutes to go in the opening quarter. Brady fires it over the middle into traffic, and that's Wes Welker at the 50-yard line. Eric Smith making the stop. Last time we saw New England in week 3, we were talking about Welker as we see the play again here.
Well, you can see the whole thing there, Al, the protection up front. Oh.
This is Ridley on 2nd and 5, and he gets whacked by Bart Scott as he crosses the line of scrimmage.
So interesting to see Bart Scott in the game. Really didn't expect to see a lot of him, because when you play the Patriots, they get all spread out. Oh, gosh, that's one you don't expect, and all of a sudden Bart Scott in the proverbial phone booth hangs up on you.
That gets the crowd into it. On 3rd and 4. Ooh. And
did he touch him, though?
Did he touch it? Right. Wilkerson came across the line. There might have been the snap looked like it was.
Well, that's the question.
Early,
was the reaction immediate, and was it over the guy that jumped?
Here it is again. There's and what you've got is.
And then he's one player away. This is going to be a really interesting call.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense jumped into the neutral zone, causing a reaction by the offense. 5-yard penalty. Enforcement. First down.
Well, the old veteran Dan Conley right there is going to see it, but you'd be hard-pressed to convince me that was an immediate reaction. That was just a clever play, and he got away with it, and Rex said...
Right. Wendell looks like he's going to snap it. Then he points his left arm. You got a lot of motion going on up front. I'm with you.
52! Louis! No, 56!
Gives him a first down at the 44-yard line. Fake it to Welker. And then Brady's going to step away, and then Brady's going to hit Welker, and Welker gets smashed as he makes the catch at the 41 by David Harris.
No doubt about it. He was looking to try and go deep, but the Jets play it pretty well. The old head Jeremiah Bell turned and ran, and then I think it was Brandon Lloyd just checked up. He knew he couldn't get behind him, checked up, but by that time it was too late for Brady.
DBs didn't buy into either fake. 2nd down and 7. From the 41-yard line. We're on the stretch with Ridley taking the ball a yard shy of the first down. That'll make it 3rd down and 1 at the 35-yard line.
Al, don't you think that's the difference in this Patriots team, their ability to beat you running or throwing this year? Top 5 in both.
Tremendous balance. Ridley's really done a masterful job out of the backfield on 3rd and 1. Here he goes again, and he picks up the first down over the left side this time to the 31-yard line behind Solder and Donald Thomas, taking the spot normally occupied by the Pro Bowler Logan Mankins.
Now that time on 3rd and 1, they came up and did much more of a hurry-up style of offense without the substitutes, so they could keep the little guys on the field for the Jets. The Jets have had 5 or 6 defensive backs on the field this entire game, even when there's 2 tight ends and a fullback in.
A little over a minute to go in the opening quarter. And Brady slings it to the outside and incomplete. And Welker goes down. We started to talk about Wes Welker before. Early in the season, one of the big stories in New England was, are they phasing Wes Welker out? The answer, a resounding no, because he's tied for 2nd in the league in receptions. And he's on his way to a 5th season with 100 or more receptions. So I guess not.
Yeah, 6 catches or more in 8 straight games. I wish they phased me out like that in Cincinnati. That would have been nice.
2nd down and 10 from the 32. And this is Vereen to the 20-yard line, and the flag is down at the 25-yard line. Head linesman throwing the flag, and Mike Carey will give us the call here.
Personal foul. face mask. Defense. Half the distance to the goal from the end of the run. Automatic. First down.
Here's the problem. You play all these defensive backs. Here's Eric Smith out here, and he's going to get blocked by the center. You got about a 205-pound guy getting taken on by a 300-pound center. And give Tom Brady credit. He has been patient. He is stuck with the running game here. As long as the Jets stay small, he is going to keep pounding them.
So the call on Lankster getting his hand in on Vereen's face mask and sets up a 1st and goal from the 9-yard line. And now here is Vereen again to the 7-yard line. Second-year back, drafted in the 2nd round last year out of the University of California.
Yeah, so much for the little guys. Now they got the big guys in there. Bart Scott, Sione Baruha, who made that play. So cat and mouse game continues. 2 linebackers in there now.
2nd and goal in the waning seconds of the quarter. Vereen again. Through the middle he goes. He gets it to the 3-yard line. And as we tick down to double zeros, they'll change ends of the field. We'll start with a 3rd and goal when the 2nd quarter commences from MetLife Stadium. And that is the end of the 1st quarter. New England nothing. The Jets nothing. Sunday Night Football's Thanksgiving special continues after these messages. Scoreless 1st quarter, but Danny Woodhead flanks Brady on a shotgun snap here on 3rd and goal from the New York 3 as we start the 2nd quarter. Brady, great protection, slings it to the outside, and there's Welker getting open for the touchdown. Lankster was inside. Welker goes to the outside. Tom Brady converts to West, and the Patriots take the lead.
Ellis Lankster here really makes a big mistake on the outside. You'll see Wes Welker comes out, settles. Brady's looking away. And why Lankster came off of Wes Welker, I have no idea. You know, he's right there. He's going to be sitting right in front of him, takes his eyes off and doesn't go pursue him. I know it's probably kind of one of those combination coverages, but you've got to cover that guy.
Steven Gostowski for the extra point. And we're 6 seconds into the 2nd quarter with the Patriots looking for a 5th consecutive victory on top 7-0. Going to look into Lower Manhattan, recovering, of course, from the drastic after effects of Hurricane Sandy. But it's a beautiful night tonight, this Thanksgiving night. Temperature in the mid-40s. New England has just scored after an 84-yard drive on which Brady passed for 53 yards. There was only 11 rushing yards, and the other 20 yards came on penalties. And 6 yards into the end zone, Joe McKnight, one of the best in the league, is out to the 30-yard line and then taken down at the 34. Tavon Wilson is in there to stop him. Early in the 2nd, Sanchez goes to work. 7-0 New England.
Why I'm thankful. I'm thankful for my family and friends and their continued support. I want to wish them and all of you a happy Thanksgiving.
For my family and for all my friends who have supported me over the years and always challenged me to accomplish my goals. I love you guys.
And tonight's quarterbacks, why they are thankful on this 22nd night of November as Sanchez begins this drive from the 32-yard line. Start with a draw play with Bilal Powell. Of course, with the Sanchez and Brady, these are two guys who are used to being on a lot of covers. Some they have posed for. Obviously, Tom right there for GQ, and Mark's done it well. There he is. And occasionally they've appeared on covers when they don't know what's coming out until the tabloids appear at the newsstand the next day.
I must say, that's just wrong. Put those two hunks on there and then come right to us. What are they doing? Right. Fred and Drew, what are you guys doing in the truck down there?
Guys are always looking for contrast. 2nd and 6 from the 37-yard line. Off the play fake. And a ton of time, and Powell gets free, wide open, and takes it to the 50-yard line. First down for the Jets.
This Bilal Powell is really becoming a bit of a factor. He had a Good day last week, 11 carries. The first time he's had that much. Go play fake to him, and then just escapes out into the route. And this is the way they played the last time. And really, they got behind in that game, too. They were down 10 points and came back and took it to overtime with a very patient approach.
It's a 5-yard gain for Powell. Well, the season started, of course, all of the talk in the offseason was about Tim Tebow coming over from Denver. There he is. But here we are at the end of November, and it's almost become an afterthought. Does he get into games? Yeah, occasionally. What are his numbers? Well, statistically 6 out of 7, but for only 39 yards. And rushing, he's had a couple of decent runs, but nothing game-changing. 2nd down and 5. And a 2-yard gain here for Powell, with Mayo making the tackle. And then we talked about the headlines that the Jets have made, and most recently a week ago some anonymous Jets said he was terrible, so that became a headline in the New York Daily News, and that became a gigantic story here. And they go into St. Louis with all of that happening, and the Sturm and Drang and the 3-game losing streak, and come out with a win, and everybody feels a little bit better this week.
Yeah, it's a brave guy in the locker room that says somebody who's a backup player on their team is terrible, and that's why they're losing games. That's a brave guy. Appreciate that. That's good.
3rd and 3, inside handoff, and Powell again pulling ahead, crosses the 40, and that will move the chains.
Austin Howard, the right tackle, and Brandon Moore caused a bit of a wave going down here. That's a big hole, and it caught Trod Mayo in the wash of that, enough to move the chains again.
And that's a story, too, because when the season began, not only did you have the Tebow situation, but everybody was worried about the right side of the Jets' offensive line. And now over right guard again, carrying the ball for a short gain, is Powell. Remember, we were in here for a preseason game against Carolina. The Jets looked horrible in preseason, just terrible. And everybody's wondering, well, how are they going to be on opening day? And then they throw up 48 points against the Buffalo Bills, so they were fine. And that right side has been solidified through the season.
Yeah, and they're probably a little better run blocking than they are pass blocking. We talked about the fact that the Jets have gone small, but really we've seen the Patriots defensively so far play almost the entire game with 5 defensive backs themselves. So they're daring the Jets to run, which the Jets are.
Jets have run the ball 11 times for 58 yards, so effective there. And then they throw it to the outside, and Cumberland makes the catch before he's escorted out of bounds by Brandon Spikes, and that'll make it 3rd down and 2 for the Jets.
Now this really is a very good offensive line. There's DeBrickashaw. I don't have to circle him. Everybody knows DeBrickashaw over there. He went to the Pro Bowl. Has been there many times. Nick Mangold many times at center. Brandon Moore made the Pro Bowl last year. So this is a team that, okay, maybe your skill position players are a little dinged up. It's not all bad to get behind those guys and run the football some.
3rd and 2 from the 32. They'll keep it on the ground, and this time trying to get that 1st down. Trying to bull ahead is Powell, but Mayo is there, and they're going to come up a little bit short.
Vince Wilfork right here. Good luck moving him with a double team, triple team, Mack truck, whatever you want. He's not going anywhere. And then it's Brandon Spikes coming down over the top, and here we go.
Well, they keep the offense out on the field on 4th down and a short 1. Sean Green is the running back. He gets it, and Green will lose the ball. And it's picked up at the 20-yard line by Steve Gregory, who has already had an interception tonight. So now he has a fumble recovery to go with it. So it looked like Green was stopped, and then the ball came loose, and New England winds up with it at their own 17-yard line. Green would have been stopped anyway. From the 17, Tom Brady begins this drive with a pass to the left side, and that's Vereen, and Vereen gets free down the sideline, and Vereen is inside the 30, and nobody's going to get him. Touchdown, New England. 83 yards.
Looked like Bart Scott was in some kind of a man coverage. Wes Welker came down and rubbed him just enough where he couldn't get out on the route. And Shane Vereen, who is the speedster, it's Ridley who's been getting a lot of the attention, but Vereen was actually drafted a round higher. Got just enough of that little rub against Bart Scott, and that was that.
Vereen with his 6th reception of the season. So the Patriots had one long drive for a touchdown and then a one-play drive. 83 yards. Gostowski kicks the extra point. And the New England Patriots, just like that, on top, 14-0. New England on top 14-0 on a night when the Patriots are seeking a 5th straight win. And as Chris said at the top, this is kind of the Jets season to keep it alive, to keep their playoff hopes alive. And they're not that far-fetched in the sense that the Jets have a pretty easy schedule down the stretch. But first things first, they've got a mountain to climb tonight already as Gostowski's kickoff will be fielded. Well, won't even be fielded by McKnight. Out of the end zone it goes. And New York will go to work from the 20 as we go back to the touchdown.
Watch Tom Brady. He sees the whole thing. Man coverage, Shane Vereen. Yeah, you're going to just take off right down that sideline and score a touchdown, all right? Yeah, got it. No problem. Looking over, freeze the linebacker. Wes Welker going to get you a little pick. See you later. You know, as soon as Bart Scott got in the game, what do? They start throwing it. And he looks like the professor there, doesn't he? He is something special. He knows what's happening on the field. He was talking about it a little bit last night, right? He's like, game's a lot easier than it used to be.
From the 20-yard line, this is Clyde Gates picking up a first down. I mean, look, we see Brady and we've seen Peyton Manning through the years. And in effect, Chris, it's very much like having your offensive coordinator on the field as well as the quarterback.
Yeah, that's what Bill Belichick was saying. It's kind of hard to coach Tom Brady. When we said, we're like, what? You know, what are you saying? He said he knows so much by the time we get into our first meeting on Monday, I had better do my homework or I'm not going to be able to keep up with him.
Well, years ago we talked to Tom Moore then at Indianapolis, the offensive coordinator. You got a busted play here, and then Sanchez gets hit. The ball is loose and it's alive. And then going into the end zone is Steve Gregory, who's had an interception, 2 fumble recoveries, and a touchdown.
Gosh. Oh my! Vince Wilfork just threw Brandon Moore into Mark Sanchez. I have never seen this before in my life. Watch this. Vince Wilfork is going to throw Brandon Moore back into his quarterback. He's going to fumble the football. This is what Reggie White used to do to people, forklift them and just lift them off the ground. Mark Sanchez not expecting it, and it was the backside of Brandon Moore that knocked the ball out. Now, he may have been on the ground.
Well, it's being reviewed obviously on 2 levels. Number 1, it's a turnover, and number 2, it's a scoring play, and Mike Carey just had it confirmed. It stands.
Wow. I have seen Vince Wilfork do some things that impressed me from a strength standpoint, but that one just jumped to the top 5.
And Gostowski's extra point is good. And the crowd expresses its displeasure. 21-0 New England.
Why I'm thankful? I'm thankful for a family. I'm thankful for my wife, my kids, and I'm thankful for life, and I'm also thankful for the freedom that we have here.
I'm thankful for my family and friends. I want to wish everyone in Freeport, Long Island a happy Thanksgiving.
And the Jets were thankful for that win against St. Louis last week to keep them somewhat in the hunt. There was a very muted chant during the commercial break for Tebow. Whereas in the past, you know, you might have had 60,000 people chanting it. I'm guessing it was about 1,100.
That are left.
Right. Here's the kick. About 7 yards in. Joe McKnight. And McKnight will lose the ball again. It goes right into Edelman's hands. And Edelman goes in for a touchdown. And the Jets have turned the ball over 4 times. Devin McCourty created it. Whoa, boy.
This is the Keystone Cops. I'm telling you, remember the old football follies thing they used to put together?
Yep.
This is it. You're getting a chance to see it live tonight. Julian Edelman on the fly catches that thing. Oh my gosh. Now it's a product of hard hitting and guys bringing it. Let's not say that, but these are some of the most bizarre plays you'll ever see.
Julian Edelman last week had a touchdown on a punt return, a touchdown on a reception, and now one on a fumble return. The extra point is good.
Wow, that was some hit too. I mean, it's not often you see a guy cold cocked like that.
Mike Tannenbaum is the general manager. There's already enough heat here with the Jets, and it will get a lot hotter.
I mean, this is one of those when the whole world's watching and they're sitting on the couch and you got your wife and your grandmother and everybody sitting there and they're saying, the Jets always play like this? Boy. And it, you know, for me, it all started back. They had a chance on that 4th down play to pick up a 1st down. It was a poor block by Lex Hilliard, the fullback, that created the turnover, and from there, it has been awful.
Well, you also had the interception by Gregory, where they trapped him into throwing that pick, and that led to a long drive. And Mike Westhoff is the special teams coach, and you saw some of the ugly numbers that he's had to live through this season.
Wow. Wonder what's going to happen next.
Revolution.
I don't think I've ever seen that either. That's 2 plays in a row I've never seen before. Catch it on the fly.
7 yards in. McKnight. And he gets taken down at the 18. There's a little bit of a Bronx cheer, and he's throughout the third because he held on to the football. And the crowd, well, they're booing everything right now. I mean, they wouldn't mind seeing Ken O'Brien come in at quarterback.
Look at big Nate Ebner in there, coming down and making the play. Some of these special teams guys, that's how they make the National Football League. That's the way they do it. A little neck roll and the whole bit. And for Tim Tebow with that rib injury, you wonder if he even could play tonight.
Yeah, there was some question as to whether he'd even be active tonight with the rib injuries. So at the 18-yard line on 1st down, give the ball to Green. Green gets it up to the 21. Jets started the night with a decent running game, but you're down 28-0, and you can forget about the ground game.
Well, Vince Wilfork is just going to continue to wear people out, and these are good football players. Get on the double team, he's going to split across that, rip his helmet off. That's a heck of a football player still.
2nd and 6. And Sanchez will sling it to the outside, and that'll be caught by Conrad Rulin for a 1st down. New England with those 3 touchdowns in a 52-second span.
Wow, and the one right before that, the touchdown down the boundary, was a pretty amazing play too. I mean, that's about 3 of the most spectacular touchdowns back to back to back that you will see.
Halfway through the 2nd quarter. And Green will take it to the outside. And gets by Mayo, and then is tackled. Should have the 1st down by Alfonso Dennard, the rookie out of Nebraska.
Don't you get the feeling that, and we've seen this before from Bill Belichick, he is going to keep looking at different options. I think he looks at this team as a team that's likely going to make the playoffs, but he has some talented young kids back there. Dennard playing cornerback, getting the start here tonight. Tavon Wilson's had a terrific start to this season, and he keeps fitting them in different places and experimenting.
And that's been what he's done for years. Trying to play to the strengths of his team, mixing and matching and moving the chess pieces left and right. Gain here for Sean Green, who's already had a busy night, carrying the ball Total of 9 times for 56 yards.
Well, it's no mystery that the strength of this team, in my opinion, is Vince Wilfork up front. But you add him along with Kyle Love and Brandon Spikes and Gerard Mayo. Boy, they are tough to run against at any time inside, so they can play so many more people in coverage because those 6 guys in there can handle the run.
So Bob Kraft flanked by his sons Danny and Jonathan looking on very proudly, and the pass to the outside here caught by Power, and he gets taken down by Patrick Chung. Been a healthy scratch the last couple of weeks.
Well, they're still playing out there. Watch DeBrickashaw Ferguson right here. This is a heck of a little spin move by Ninkovich, who's got 6 sacks on the season, and DeBrickashaw Ferguson, one of the few guys with the quick feet to be able to make that block. There aren't many guys can out-quick DeBrickashaw Ferguson.
Well, now you got a good part of the crowd chanting for Tebow. Some of them are chanting for Tebow, and they're being drowned out by the people booing the Tebow chant.
Or they might be saying, let's go.
Let's get Richard Wood back. Oof. This is Gerard Mayo coming in for the sack at the 32-yard line.
Sanchez may start chanting for Tebow.
Tebow's got the helmet on, but as we say, with a rib injury, I don't know if we're going to see him at any point.
I mean, that is untouched. You know, you say whatever you want about Mark Sanchez, but we had no chance.
Robert Malone is the punter. And here is Edelman, and right at the boundary, so he is out of bounds immediately with 5 minutes to go in the half. 28-0. New England. From the 27-yard line on first down. And Brady's going to go to the air and throw to Brandon Lloyd, who takes it out to the 39-yard line. Brandon Lloyd, a guy who's been with 6 teams, tackled by Harris.
Patriots fans have to be disappointed. That's the first play run this quarter they didn't score a touchdown on.
And they go to the air. They have a 28-0 lead, and they're going to go no huddle. Patriots coming off a franchise record-tying 59-point outburst last week against Indianapolis, and Stephen Ridley takes it up to the 40.
You know, some of the numbers, one of the Jets players down here.
And that's Wilkerson.
Their best player.
Yeah, apart from that, not a problem. Injury timeout. Wilkerson was down on the field for almost 2 minutes, but fortunately gets up and is able to walk off.
Fireman Ed.
Yeah, Fireman Ed is he doesn't know what to think. Meanwhile, the headline writers are already at work
52's the mic
for tomorrow's papers. 2nd down and 5. And to the outside and getting stuffed right there by LaRon Landry is Ridley. So I don't know, what do you call it tomorrow? Black Thursday?
It comes a day early, doesn't it? Yeah, this is, you know, for the Jets, they showed a little sign of life, and really they played so well against the Rams, but they ain't in St. Louis anymore, are they?
No, Toto. 3rd and 5. And Brady, and he's going deep, and getting free is Edelman, and Edelman will go into the end zone again. 2 touchdowns last week, 2 touchdowns tonight. That's 56 yards to Edelman, and it'll be 35-0 after the extra point.
Look like some kind of quarters coverage on the outside. Once he goes to the post, LaRon Landry is going to have to run him down, and really there's no way. When you look at what the backside of this Jets defense is, it's really 2 strong safeties back there, LaRon Landry and Jeremiah Bell, and they've made a few mistakes, and boy, I tell you, this Patriots offense is making them pay for every mistake.
Gostowski for the extra point.
Wow.
35 points, all in this quarter. Believe it or not, it was scoreless after one. Now it's 35-zip. .308 remaining in the half. Last time I saw 35 points in the quarter, doing the Super Bowl. Denver against Washington after the '87 season. Denver led 10-0. Meanwhile, the Pats with 35 tying a franchise record, and the NFL record for points in a quarter is 41. The Packers did it back in the 40s. The Rams did it in 1950, and the Patriots could do it tonight.
I'm going to say the Knicks.
Let me outscore them. Here's McKnight, a yard in the end zone. And McKnight out to the 23-yard line. NFL history, most points per game. Take a look at that. Bill Belichick, 24.4. Minimum 200 games as a head coach. Of course, that also includes Bill's years as the head coach of the Cleveland Browns in the 90s. And then points per game, well, you match him up with Brady. It's almost 28 a game. Other quarterbacks, you had a motley crew for the most part, with some pretty good players in there as well, including Drew Bledsoe for a while. But a big difference, obviously, with number 12. From the 23-yard line, Sanchez, and he hits Jeremy Curley. Curley, the only wideout on this team this year who was with the team last year among the active wideouts. Of course, Antonio Holmes is our injured reserve. Jets go no huddle, 2nd and 5. And Sanchez slings it to the outside, and that'll be a first down as Dustin Keller makes the grab. Clock ticking down, 2.5 to go in the half.
Just embarrassing to be in one of those games. If you play long enough, you've been on the other side of one of these at one time or another, and you're just sitting there going, how can it be 35-0? We're not even to halftime.
And Sanchez throws, and that's caught. Keller makes the catch. And what does a coach say at halftime? Hold that thought.
I'll tell you.
Hold.
I know the answer.
Hold that thought. Don't touch that dial. 2-minute warning. Back to the Meadowlands. 2nd down and 2 at the 2-minute warning, and getting stuffed in the backfield is Bilal Powell. Big Wolf Fork is there, and it'll be 3rd down, and a timeout is taken here by the Jets.
This is awesome stuff. Now, I hope people can appreciate what's happening with this guy. Watch him get off this double team. He's fighting through 3 guys and made the play. I mean, it's 35-0. He's a veteran. He goes to Pro Bowl every year. You know, if they ask for it, he could go sit on the bench and drink Gatorade, and he's just slaughtering the Jets right now. He's got to be one of my favorites. Not only is he a great player, and you can watch him all day long, has to be one of the most entertaining guys and lighthearted, fun guys to be around in the National Football League.
Great guy. Great sense of humor. Always fun to meet with him. 3rd down and 2 from the 48-yard line, and over the middle. The pass is caught at the 45-yard line by Jeff Cumberland.
You don't think John Madden might consider Vince Wilfork for the player of the game, do you?
Well, I'll tell you what. He's got Edelman and he's got Steve Gregory right now, among others.
Yeah, but Vince looks like one of his guys.
No question.
Yeah.
And that one is tipped and incomplete, intended for Curley. And a tradition for us, John, opening up the show tonight, and he's going to pick the player of the game, and he's got a number of choices tonight. And we'll call the award the Madden.
Madden player of the game. Some of my favorite memories of the National Football League was John Madden, you doing the turducken. I used to sit on the couch and just laugh out loud at that stuff.
2nd and 10. Sanchez slings it to the outside, and then it's caught there by Stephen Hill, and the rookie is taken down at the 36-yard line. We used to laugh about the turducken, and then John brought one to the booth one night. You saw that in the open of the show. It was delicious.
Really?
It was fabulous. Thanksgiving flashback. There you go. Denny Green was there, and Randy Moss.
Randy Moss was not interested in talking. He just wanted to eat.
And Brett Favre and Amon Green were there, and Robert Smith and Emmett Smith.
Nate
Newton enjoying a little repast.
Nate was one of John's favorites too, wasn't he? Yeah.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, that's no surprise he got a turkey leg. It's out of control already. We're going to have Vince come up here and call the second half.
A little more than scale, too. 3rd and 1. And this is Green taking it to the 31-yard line. That'll be a first down. And the Jets have one timeout, and their regular unit on the field here as the clock will tick down under a minute in the half. Sanchez to the outside, and that is incomplete. That's all they would need is another pick here. Gates covered there by the rookie Dennard. 2nd and 10.
I tell you, this kid Alonzo Dennard is making an impression. A bunch of interceptions already this year. He got the start in this game tonight, and Clyde Gates is quick, and Dennard was right on him. You know, if they get cornerback play to go along with everything they've got up front, if Talib, who had an interception for a touchdown last week after coming over in the trade, if these two guys and they had a little corner play, they're already pretty good. I don't even know what category to put them in.
2nd and 10, and that pass is caught, and then getting whacked at the 20-yard line is Gates, and then the ball is loose on the ground because Gates was hit so hard by Kyle Arrington. And Arrington is down, and so is Gates on the violent hit. So both guys will need attention as we look at it again.
I'll tell you, that's a clean hit too. It looks like he lowers his shoulder right down there, and well, I guess it's possible his helmet caught him up.
Right.
But
helmets, they make contact.
I'll give Arrington credit, though. What he did first when he got up was go over and check on Gates. I mean, that's really what the spirit of this league is supposed to be all about. You go play, you go hit each other, you do everything you can, but that's what you don't like to see in this game.
I've seen enough bad stuff, obviously. Got him with his shoulder, and then looks like the helmet's.
Yeah, kind of a secondary shot, you know, as Gates sort of ducks his head. Yeah, he did. He's definitely caught him a little bit there.
And Gates, fortunately, now gets up and gets escorted to the sideline. Played for Miami last year, and then the Jets picked them up. And Woody Johnson, who brought a lot of folks together, the coaching staff, and Mike Tannenbaum, for a meeting before the St. Louis game just to get things cleared up, and for a moment he did with that St. Louis victory, but a little shell shock tonight. So the clock goes to 32 seconds. They put 3 seconds back on the clock. It'll be 3rd and 1 just outside the 20-yard line. Sanchez throws, and that's incomplete, so it'll be 4th down.
Well, not a lot of things to think about here, right? You just take a shot, and really, even field goals don't do much for you. 4th and 1, maybe they're playing something short. Take a shot at the end zone. See if you can get yourself back within 4 scores.
Arrington is back in the game for New England. Sets up on the slot receiver. They bunch 3 receivers to the left, and the pass is caught at the 15-yard line, and that'll be a first down. Stephen Hill makes the catch, and the Jets will have to spike the ball to stop the clock. Out of timeouts, taking a lot of time. Crowd very restless. Ball at the 14. Spike it here, but took a lot of time off that clock, and now they're down to 7 seconds.
You see the Patriots defenders on that last one understanding what the situation was with the clock.
Totally.
They weren't trying to tackle the receiver. They were trying to hold him up.
Right.
And hold him up as long as they possibly could to let that clock tick.
Well, they're going to bring the field goal unit in, which of course the crowd hates.
We'll take him down. And now Stephen Hill is going to point at the guy and watch the referee. He has trouble getting a handle on the ball, and so mission accomplished for the Patriots again.
This will be a 32-yard attempt for Nick Folk. And it is good. Well, that says it all.
And they shot up fireworks.
Right. They shoot off a cannon for a safety, I guess.
Oh, boy. I tell you, you just have to give credit where credit's due. You know, I mean, every single phase of the game, the New England Patriots have been spectacular here, between special teams, making adjustments, understanding the Jets were coming out with a small lineup, and running the football at that. Everything they did was right. They were the smarter, better team by far.
And by far the superior roster, there's no question. So Mike Tannenbaum, the GM, making a good many of the personnel decisions, obviously. And you have Brady in this half throwing 3 touchdowns. The Patriots with 2 return touchdowns tonight. They had 3 last week, so the Patriots have 5 return touchdowns in the last 2 weeks. For Brady, it's 8 of 14 for 198.
And you just stop and think, if Eli doesn't take the Giants on 2 last-minute drives and 2 Super Bowls, what is the reputation and the image of this Patriots organization then with 5 rings?
This will be Edelman with a kneel down and then a little bit of contact at the end here. Patriots coming in with a record of 7-3, and watch the way they deploy on the coverage team here. Jets, of course, just trying to stay alive in the playoff race, but things are pretty dire at the moment. And McKnight from the 7-yard line brings this one back out to the 21-yard line. 4 turnovers tonight for the New York Jets. Here they are.
Yeah, that one was tough right off the bat. The Jets had a really nice looking drive going, and then the 4th and 1. That one gets away, and it got worse from there. Vince Wilfork with an incredible play. Devin McCourty followed it up with another one, and Julian Edelman had a huge first half as well.
2 touchdowns for him. Steve Gregory had a tremendous first half. And Mark Sanchez will go to work now from the 21-yard line. Starting from the shotgun. And we start with Green, and he can't get out of the backfield. Arrington makes the tackle, and we go to Michelle.
Al, when I talked to Rex Ryan at halftime, he said with the score being what it is, this is more than about trying to come back and win a football game. This is about trying to show our heart. This is about fighting. It's not impossible. He said the 4 turnovers, ridiculous. But we got to stay true to ourselves, show heart, and continue to fight. Bill Belichick said, we're not worried about the score. We're going to keep playing. And he said, don't you remember that Buffalo-Houston game when Houston had a 32-point lead and Buffalo came back to win? He remembers it.
He does. Thank you, Michelle. Bill is always the historian, and that's the way he goes when somebody says you're running up the score. 2nd and 12, and the pass to the outside is caught by Curley. And Curley is out of bounds. I mean, last week against Indianapolis, there were some people who thought maybe he's running up the score, and he's talking about the Houston-Buffalo playoff game and all of the other games he can remember where teams overcame big leads. And then he took some heat, especially here in New York, for having Gronkowski in the game on the extra point attempt. That's when he broke his forearm. But that's what you do on an extra point. You leave the same guys in. Otherwise, as Belichick said, what am I supposed to say? Hey, Rod, I want to get you out so you don't get hurt, and somebody else, you go in and get hurt.
They played it all the way through. Tom Brady was playing quarterback almost to the last series.
And that's why a lot of people think sometimes he's running up to score. Here's Curley, and Curley loses his helmet, but holds on to the football.
I mean, these have been violent collisions out here tonight. That time it's Jermaine Cunningham coming down the line and taking the helmet off of Jeremy Curley. You'll see him come out right here. I mean, everything has just been so violent. I mean, this is, from a pure football standpoint, this has been one of the more impressive shows we've seen all year. And most of it, well, the offense has been great too, but most of it has come on the defense and special teams.
Punt team in on 4th and 1. By the way, Tebow's not even on the punt team. He normally is, which will tell you all you need to know about his rib situation. And back to receive it is Welker, and he steps out of bounds at the 24-yard line. Brady goes back to work when we come back to the Meadowlands.
Good evening. I'm Robert Kraft of the New England Patriots. I love Thanksgiving because of the 3 F's: family, food, and football. And I hope all of you enjoy the same. Happy Thanksgiving.
Bob Kraft bought this team in 1994. Take a look at that. 200 wins, 98 losses. So they've won better than 2 out of every 3 games since he took control of a team he rooted for as a fan growing up outside of Boston. Brady on 1st down. Throwing incomplete, intended for Julian Edelman. It'll be 2nd and 10. And Muhammad Wilkerson, we're happy to report, who was shaken up and down on the ground for a couple of minutes at the end of the first half, is back, as you can see.
Well, you have to marvel at what the Patriots have done over the last 4 quarters, outscoring the Colts and the Jets 70-10 now. I mean, you know, we saw a pretty good Jets team, or Patriots team, with Randy Moss and the way they could run up some points, but this team's starting to look like that.
Brady up in the pocket and then throws, and that's incomplete, intended for Brandon Lloyd, and Brady knew he had him and missed him. 3rd down.
Watch this motion from Tom Brady, about as efficient as it can possibly be, up and out. And we're going to show you that on the one throw that he completely missed tonight. Had another touchdown going.
Looked like a popsicle, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
You know what popsicles are, right? Even in Kentucky. On 3rd and 10.
That whole shoe thing we have a problem with.
Right. On 3rd and 10. The catch is made over the middle. Wes Welker up to the 43-yard line for a 1st down.
One of the things that this Patriots offensive line does such a great job, these 3 guys right here, watch the throwing lanes. Steps up in there, makes it easy. They take great pride in not backing up those interior 3, the center, the 2 guards, and then the tackles work wide so that Brady has all that room to step forward.
And again, they go no huddle here and give it to Stephen Ridley, and he gets slung down by David Harris after a short gain. Brady, over his last 5 games, counting tonight, and you have the 4 wins there, so he has 14 touchdown passes and no interceptions.
About 175 straight attempts without one.
And related to that figure here is the catch is made by Aaron Hernandez. You know, it's funny with the AFC East, you go back to about a month and a half ago. Remember, all of the teams at one point were 3-3, all 4 teams. And then since then, the Patriots have won 4 straight, and every other team's been 1-3 unless they have a 3-game lead. And Brady, on a quarterback sneak where he's been so effective through the years with that second effort, is able to get the ball across the line to gain for what should be a 1st down, and is.
Yeah, and if you want to wonder whether or not Gronk should have been in the game and whether he's going to keep playing his stars, up 35-3, he has Tom Brady run a quarterback sneak.
Yep.
Or Tom Brady has Tom Brady run a quarterback sneak. But
and a no huddle.
That is now 41 straight times on 3rd or 4th and 1 he's converted on a sneak.
The toss coming back to Edelman, and Edelman will get taken down, and the ball is loose at the 42-yard line. He was hit there by LaRon Landry, who's known for big-time hits. The Jets, with Edelman down, wind up with a football. Eric Smith comes up with it, and Edelman now just does get to his feet.
Goodness gracious, we've seen some hitting out here tonight. LaRon Landry's going to come up, and oh my goodness. I mean, and you know, that may be helmet to helmet, but remember, on run plays, there's no such thing. It's not a defenseless player. Oh my goodness.
Well, Edelman is being assisted off the field, and I'm not sure he knows where he is right now. Injury timeout. Back we come after the first New England turnover. And Sanchez will throw complete to Dustin Keller, and he'll take the ball to the 36, tackled by Gregory. Here's Green to the 33.
Well, the story of the first half for me was the play of the big guy, Vince Wilfork, just dominant inside from beginning to end. And it's not often you can point to a defensive tackle and say he's a big reason why this game was won, but there is no doubt when he took over against two Pro Bowlers right here, going to split that double team and throw Brandon Moore right back into Mark Sanchez and put a touchdown on the board. Pretty remarkable play.
And 2nd down and 7. And that'll be caught by Curley, and he'll lose the ball. And a scramble for it. Curley got hit, and the Jets wind up with it, but it was Gregory, who's been all over the joint tonight, who forces the fumble, but the Jets are able to maintain possession at the 14-yard line. They got lucky.
Steve Gregory's working on a turkey leg himself right now. He's going to come in from over here. Of course, the slant coming in the other way, and Curley makes a nice move to get up, and then Stephen Gregory just got the ball out. It's going to happen a lot.
And the ball off inside. Green. By the way, with Gregory, I mean, he must love the home cooking. He's a kid from Staten Island. Went to Syracuse, played with the Chargers for a number of years, and is having a phenomenal night tonight.
All right, there's Vince Wilfork. Nick Mangold, who said he doesn't see him nearly as much. Gets him blocked.
Jets go no huddle, and the pass into the end zone is caught by Schillens, and then he goes up thinking he scored the touchdown, but they say no. The official came in, and you saw him waving it off. So Schillens got up. Rex thinks it's a touchdown. He's looking for the replay, as we are as well. And Rex looking to see if he wants to challenge this, since it's not ruled a scoring play. Schillens goes down. The official comes in and says no.
I don't know about that.
Well, Rex is looking at it, and he's going to think about, does he want to challenge it? The ball can't hit the ground. You can't have the ground help you control the ball, and Rex will challenge it.
An incomplete pass being challenged by New York.
Remember, if it's a scoring play, there's no challenge. They would just look at it, but it's ruled an incomplete pass, so we'll see if it's a touchdown or incomplete when we come back. This could definitely go either way, as we've been looking at it during the commercial break. The ball touches the ground, which it can do, but does it help him control it?
I think the underneath hand here never loses control. That his right hand, I just don't see the ball move in that right hand. Now the left hand comes off.
And again, remember, you have to see enough evidence to overturn the ruling on the field.
The ruling on the field is confirmed. In the process of the catch, the receiver did not demonstrate full control on the way to the ground and used the ground to help control the ball. New York is charged with a timeout. 3rd down.
But worth a challenge, obviously.
You called that one right.
Well, yeah, it was close. We wouldn't have mind it going the other way. Anything to keep an audience at this point, but so be it.
Yeah, I think I have built-in bias on those.
That's right. So it's 3rd down and 3 now from the 7-yard line. And action and movement up front.
Correction.
Mike Carey after a conference here.
Now, is he going to call unabated to the quarterback because the action happened all the way on the other side of the field? So even if it's immediate, that's not supposed to be allowed.
Before the movement of the offense, encroachment, defense, 5-yard penalty, in this case half the distance to the goal. The enforcement results first down.
It is, because it was 3rd down and 2. So you got Spikes coming across the line 55, causing the offense to move and giving Sanchez the ball for the Jets at the 3-yard line, 1st and goal. Inside handoff out of a spread formation. This is Bilal Powell, who got into the end zone on the ground twice last week in St. Louis. Stopped.
Maybe it's just me, but I would run somewhere other than where Vince Wilfork is.
Meanwhile, there's Edelman, and he took that hard hit and barely knew where he was as he was assisted off the field, and he'll go back to the locker room. Vince just sort of appears out of nowhere, doesn't he?
Well, he's right there. Kind of hard to miss.
Right. 2nd and goal. And that is incomplete. Intended for Dustin Keller, and Kyle Arrington comes in to break the play up. 3rd down.
Pretty play by Arrington, but for Keller here, if he can come back to the ball even half a step, he's got a touchdown. He sits, he's got the rebound position. Arrington goes right over the top of him.
So now 3rd down and goal from the 2. And Sanchez, he's going to take it himself, and he gets knocked down at the 1-yard line. So he is stopped shy of the goal line. Brandon Spikes is there, and it's 4th down and goal.
Brandon Spikes came across the formation there to get him. He's going to come from all the way on the other side and deliver a bit of a knockout blow. It looked like Sanchez was going to score. Just didn't even see Spikes.
Ball spotted inside the 1. Come up with a heavy formation on 4th and goal. And give it to Green, and he won't get it. And that's Spikes again. And a goal line stand for the Patriots. And Rex has he's seen everything he needs to see tonight. 35-3. Here is Brady throwing, and the pass is incomplete with
if that's
marker.
Holding in the end zone. Yep, that's 2 points.
It'll be a safety. That's when they'll shoot the cannon off. Mike Carey. Will it be 35-5? A score never before seen, I don't believe, in the National Football League.
Chop block on the offense. Number 22. The foul occurred in the end zone. We also call the play as a safety.
There you go, folks. How many 35-5 games have you seen?
Yes, sir. Fullback this way, Ridley this way. One goes high, one goes low. And there's your chop block. Any foul that occurs like that in the end zone is 2 points, as Tom Brady found out in the Super Bowl too. Remember that one?
With grounding on the initial series, he threw a deep pass, but nobody was there because he was under pressure, and then the Giants picked up a deuce.
This has been one bizarre game. There are things in this game that you just don't see very often, and
One of the most bizarre things is the fact it was 0-0 at the end of the first quarter and 35-3 at the half.
Well, I'll say this for the Jets. They didn't come out and roll over. LaRon Landry with that huge hit, got the turnover, drove it down to the 1, and got Brandon Spike down there, and now come up with a safety. So at least whatever Rex said to him at halftime, they came out fighting.
Zoltan Mesko with a free kick now from his own 20-yard line after the safety. Hauled in by Kyle Wilson. And the Jets will have the ball to 29.
Solo. 54, 180.
From the 29, the Jets begin this drive with a Sanchez drop back and a pass that is caught by Jeff Cumberland, and he gets taken out of bounds inside the 35-yard line.
Well, if anything, Dante Hightower's had a little bit of trouble with, it's chasing some speed tight ends down the field. He's a big, strong, physical run player, smart guy, makes good plays, but just in a pure sprint, sometimes people can get past him.
That's a gain of 39 yards. Sanchez from the 32 turns and hands the ball off to Powell, and Powell running over guys, including Gregory there, to pick up a first down, a gain of 14, and we go to Michelle.
Well, Al, Jets wide receiver Clyde Gates is out with a head injury after that Kyle Arrington hit late in the first half, and you saw Julian Edelman heading to the locker room. He's got a head injury. He's questionable, spent a lot of time on the bench talking with trainers. They were evaluating him and ultimately decided to take him to the locker room, Al.
Yeah, I'd be stunned, Michelle, to see him back in the game with the way he looked coming off the field. Ball at the 18-yard line. It'll be first down.
Yellow, waiting, hot. Blue 10.
And the Jets, who were great in the red zone last year, but not so much this year. And another missing helmet there as Curley looks around and says, hey, where's the flag for that? And there is none.
Yeah, and there shouldn't be, because he caught the ball and he's no longer a defenseless player. Right here, he's going to come in, make the catch, now turn up, make the run, the hit. He's now a runner. Should not be a foul there, but that's the second time we've seen his helmet come off.
McCourty was the guy who popped him there, first down and goal from the 8-yard line. Sanchez out of the pocket, flag is thrown. Mayo makes the tackle at the 9-yard line.
Yeah, I think Brandon Spikes is going to get called with a defensive hold.
And that would make it a first and goal from about the 3-yard line.
Jeremy Curley, one of the quickest guys on the field, and
holding defense number 55. Half the distance to the goal from the previous spot. Automatic. First down.
Jeremy Curley was going to run one of those in and out routes. And Brandon said, you're not running the out part.
Spot the ball at the 4-yard line.
Yellow waiting, Mike 5-1, blue 10. Blue 10.
And this is Powell getting into the end zone for the touchdown. So the Jets, after getting stopped by a goal line stand, but then getting the safety, go down the field and do it quickly in a little over 2 minutes, 71 yards.
The time Nick Mangold not having to worry about the double team, able to get straight up on the safety, Drod Mayo, and get that thing in there.
So Folk for the extra point. And the Jets have scored 12 consecutive points. And with 4:41 to go in the third, it's 35-12 New England.
Why am I thankful?
First off, I'm thankful for my great family. I'm also thankful for all the veterans that serve this country, both past and present, that provide great opportunities for all of us.
And Rex Ryan on this Thanksgiving night, as you look at the Statue of Liberty in New York Harbor, and his son Seth is on the sidelines with him tonight, and Rex's team at least coming out and giving it their best shot after going in 35-3 at the half. This kickoff is fielded just inbounds at the 1 by Devin McCourty. Out of bounds at the 12-yard line. You go back to when they realigned since 01, and 02 is when they created this particular division. They have finished first or second every year, and in the years that they finished second, they had the same record as the division champions. They just lost out in tiebreakers, and of course that's been the Bill Belichick era with the New England Patriots. Going over things with Matt Patricia. Inside the division, he wins 4 games out of every 5. From the 13-yard line, Ridley. Chris, the last time I did a game here where there was a 23-point difference going into the fourth quarter, the score was Miami 30 and the Jets 7. And that is the night that at 1:17 in the morning, they call it the miracle of the Meadowlands, the Jets won the game.
So you predicting?
I'm not predicting. I'm just saying, folks, before you tune away, you never know.
Well, you know, the total yards in this game are almost even.
Right.
You know, they've had 2 crazy plays where Sanchez had the ball taken away from him and they ran it in, and then the ball flying out and Julian Edelman running it in. So far the Patriots offense only 21 points, but going into this drive, the yards were 309 to 294, almost identical.
I just bought the car from you. Very good. 3rd and 1.
Oh boy, they got a lot of one-on-one coverage if Brady wanted to take a shot.
And Brady, he'll sneak it and pick up the first down. The one thing I remember about that game, it was a Monday night game in 2000. When the score's 30-7 going into the fourth quarter, it must be like 35,000 of the 80,000 still in the stadium.
Really?
Right. And then all of a sudden, like 35,000 were in the parking lot, came back in when the Jets tied the game. Then all of a sudden you had like 70,000 at midnight.
Didn't you do the game in Tampa too?
Indianapolis, Tampa Bay, from the 24-yard line up to the 30-yard line. That's a gain of 6. So we'll go through all of our great comebacks in history. Right?
There have been a few. You hit on that Buffalo.
Right, Buffalo, Houston. That's why Belichick says, "Hey, I play the game to the end."
Watch big Donald Thomas here. Coming off. I tell you, to me, it's the most impressive part of the Patriots this year. And I know it's not always exciting to watch, but the running game of the Patriots has really stepped up.
Fake draw. And then Brady goes, and that pass is incomplete, intended for Hernandez. And not biting on the play action was LaRon Landry, staying right with his man. 3rd and 4.
We hit on it before, but watch it one more time. The ability of these 3 guys to lock in and not back up, and watch the ability of Brady to step up into this pocket. I mean, that is as good a space as any quarterback in the NFL could possibly ask for. It's a big reason why, because they can run the football now. Those play actions have a big impact on the defense.
On 3rd and 4, Brady on a roll, throws, catch made, and welcome to exactly where he had to be to pick up the first down. And the clock will tick down to 2 minutes and under remaining in the 3rd.
I'll tell you, the one thing I love watching Wes Welker play, he's not the fastest guy in the world by any means, but the acceleration when he takes off, I've seen him pull away for short yardage situations for a period of 5-10 yards, pull away from some of the fastest guys in the league. Now, if you put him in a 40-yard dash race, he'd get killed, but in a 10-yard dash race, he can run away from people.
And of course, he's been tremendous after the catch through the years. The catch was made here, and that is Daniel Fells, the Number 2 tight end on the depth chart tonight with Gronkowski out, and Hernandez moving to number 1, who makes the catch and picks up 24.
Well, they just have so many tight ends on the roster. The guy inside here comes up, and you get the one-on-one against Eric Smith going down the field, and these tight ends are like wideouts in their routes.
And not getting out of the backfield, that's Brian Thomas, who makes sure that Stephen Ridley has nowhere to go. And we'll be under a minute remaining in the third. Rex Ryan coming here in 09, and the Jets were terrific that year, allowing less than 15 points a game, and then 19 in 2010, but they did get to the AFC Championship game again, then 22.7 last year, and over 24 a game this year. And tonight they've already put 35 up on them, but the defense did part of that for New England. On second and 11, Brady throwing, and it's caught. And this is Lloyd slipping back to the inside, running around Cromartie, and comes up about 2 yards shy of the first down.
You know, Brandon Lloyd is a slippery guy. You watch him as a route runner, he's hard to catch up with, and Antonio Cromartie is going to get a little feel for it here. Just buckled his knees and almost picked up the first down.
And the Patriots will let the clock run out, and we will go to the fourth quarter on this Thanksgiving night at the Meadowlands at the end of 3. The score, New England 35, the Jets 12, and this Thanksgiving special continues after these messages. And we start the fourth quarter here at MetLife Stadium with a 3rd down and 2 for the New England Patriots. And Ridley will pick up the first down, 30-yard line. Well, we had our great and good friend, Mr. John Madden, out in California watching the game tonight, who opened it up. And a new tradition, NBC doing the Thanksgiving game. We have the Madden Thanksgiving Player of the Game coming up.
I can't wait to, you know, because the players get such a kick out of it after the game to go down and get their turkey leg. Can't you just remember? I remember so many Thanksgivings just enjoying the moment there, and you would sit and watch it. But I tell you, you know, and we all love John, of course, and, you know, all he's meant to us around here. But the ultimate standard of a broadcaster is, did you ever tune in just to hear a broadcaster? And I think the answer is yes for a lot of people with John Madden.
Boom.
Yeah.
To the 15-yard line, a first down. So I'm sure John is at home right now and filling out that ballot. You got Edelman, you got Gregory, Wilfork.
Now 56 of Mike. 220.
Tom Brady hasn't been awful.
Right. Ridley. Tom Brady is rarely awful.
Yeah, I can remember talking to Peyton Manning about when he got to the point in his career where teams would do crazy things defensively to him. You know, play 7 defensive backs and just dare him to run the ball. And he had to get to the point where he said, okay, you know, I'll run it. It's all right. If you want me to beat you that way, I don't need any better stats. And you saw that from Tom Brady tonight. I mean, he just took advantage of what the Jets were doing with all that, smaller lineup in there.
On 2nd and 2, Brady throwing and getting free with a flag thrown is Aaron Hernandez for the touchdown.
Brian Thomas.
Right, Thomas came in and put a shot on him. It's just offense or
Pass
defense here.
Offense number 81. 10-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
So that's Hernandez pushing himself free, and Brady goes down, but he gets back up right now on the offensive call on the tight end.
Thomas coming from his left, and those are always the dangerous ones. If a quarterback gets his shoulder driven into the ground, so many injuries. Aaron Hernandez really didn't even need to do that. He had the position he wanted. Luckily, Brady was savvy enough to turn just a bit and avoid that, having somebody land on him, and then the body weight come down on the shoulder as well.
And Roethlisberger will tell you about the shoulder as Brady spins away, throws it to the outside, and that is caught by Brandon Lloyd, and he gets tackled at the 12, and Thomas again that time put the heat on Brady.
Yeah, but RG3 spun out of it. Look at that. Tom Brady's not really known for his mobility Here comes Thomas at him one more time, spins away and gets the completion. Saw one earlier in the game sort of like that. He just sort of shuffled up in the pocket that time, but it's one of those moves we see more and more. Romo likes that one, spinning backwards.
On 3rd and 7. And pass on the outside, and breaking away from the tackle is Shane Vereen. Broke away from Landry, but taken out of bounds at the 4-yard line.
Aren't many people break tackles from LaRon Landry. That was a great play by Vereen. He needed, if Landry makes this tackle, it's not a first down, but Vereen, who had the touchdown earlier, is starting to make a real impression.
So 1st and goal, they go no huddle, and here is Vereen again to the 1-yard line.
He's not a particularly big guy, about 205 pounds, and Ridley's about 220-something pounds. But Vereen, much more athletic, quickness, ability to come out. This is a good-looking bunch catching the football.
And the 17th play of the drive is Brady himself, and touchdown is the signal. So Brady able to take it into the end zone. He's thrown for 3, scored 1 himself, and they go 87 yards in 17 plays.
I tell you, for a quarterback, he sort of runs like a fullback. He's about a foot off the ground, running this ball head first, knees not on the ground. He is about as good as there is. Well, he is as good as there is. Right. Quarterback sneaks.
Maybe the best ever. I mean, you look at the numbers. Every time it's 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, in he goes. That time almost from 2. It's officially a 1-yard run. Gostowski for the extra point. They chewed up 7 minutes and 39 seconds after the Jets had made the score 35-12. It's now 42-12, and coming up will be the play of the game, the Madden.
Boy, the Patriots are starting to look like that Super Bowl team you were talking about in the open.
We have 2 games against Miami left. We got McKnight. 2 games against Miami, 1 against Jacksonville, and then 2 big ones at home against Houston, and then we have a Sunday nighter against San Francisco. 42-12 is the score.
Why I'm thankful. I'm thankful for my beautiful kids, my mom and dad back home in Kansas City, Missouri, my brothers and sisters, and my friends.
I'm thankful for my family back in Oklahoma City, and especially my wife here, who just got married this summer. Thank you guys. Love y'all.
And again, a happy Thanksgiving to everybody, especially the troops overseas that have tuned in tonight on this Thanksgiving night from MetLife Stadium. And Sanchez throwing and finding his man, and then the ball is taken away from Chaz Schillings. And you got Rob Ninkovich, who winds up with the football, and he has had a pretty terrific year in terms of creating fumbles, coming up with loose balls, and once again you've got a Jet turnover.
I'll tell you this, Alfonso Dennard is making an impression. A young rookie, and he gets beat on the play, but watch him strip this ball out of here. A little Peanut Tillman action on that one. And for a team, you know, the New York Jets are a team that they work so hard on not beating themselves. They even in practice now, whenever they have a penalty in practice, the entire team, and I mean coaches, trainers, people standing around, everybody has to do 10 push-ups, and all these self-inflicted wounds, as they called it, have come back to haunt them tonight.
Well, Julian Michaels will be in the locker room leading them through that tonight. Ball at the 37-yard line, and Brady's going to go deep and over the middle. It is caught by Welker. Wes Welker takes the ball inside the 10-yard line. It'll be 1st down and goal. 28 yards.
And Wes Welker's just going to run right through the zone, and this is a laser shot from Tom Brady. This is not one of those you lob it in there. That was about a 35-yard throw that never got more than about 8 feet off the ground.
Brady now over 300 yards tonight, 304. Going to the outside, and untouched into the end zone goes Ridley. Stephen Ridley for the touchdown.
Tell you, Daniel Fells right here. Watch him come around the edge. I think that was Daniel Fells. Block on the edge and then follow it up and just drive his guy on the ground. The hardest thing in the world to do in the NFL is to get the edge, and especially getting the edge against a guy like Brian Thomas, who that's how really he's made his reputation in the league. It's amazing how deep this Patriots team is at tight end.
And Walker threw a block as well, and that's why nobody ever put a hand on Ridley. Wow. 49-12. Well, scoreless first quarter and 35 straight points for New England. And they're up 49-12, a yard into the end zone. This is Joe McKnight coming back with it, but not very far. It's taken out of bounds up at the 20-yard line. And there is a flag.
After the ball was dead, personal foul. And the offense number 54, late hit on a defensive player, half the distance to the goal. Timeout.
That's Nick Bellore. 11 minutes left in the fourth. Wilfork figures to be eating one of those pretty soon.
He'll be ready.
From the 10. Sanchez will hand the ball off to Powell. Well, we talked about the headline writers before. And I mentioned, well, you know, Black Thursday. Malibu, Kelly Hayes came up with Thanksgiving turkey.
There you go.
I mean, George Hill says, how about no thanks, Rex? Pat's cover. Well, you get that too.
Got Thanksgiving and Jetsgiving.
There you go.
Yep.
Second down and 11. And that is caught by Jeremy Curley, and the guys at the Post and the Daily News who write those things are saying, I wish those guys would stop that.
Yeah, they're laughing. I came up with Belichick made, and you scoffed. I thought nearly.
Not nearly vicious enough. Right? It's got to be nasty. You know that.
I'm trying to change my mindset here, you know, on Thanksgiving. Get into this a bit.
Right. Well, tomorrow's Friday, though.
Right.
On 3rd and 1. This is Powell. Plymouth Rock bottom. Here's Carey.
Illegal motion. Offense number 84 moving forward to the snap. 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
That's Stephen Hill. So most points in consecutive games.
Wow.
Rams back in 1950. Cardinals in Chicago in 1948 was where home was for them. And take a look at last week with 59 and tonight with 49 points for the Patriots. Sanchez on 3rd and 6, and that's incomplete, intended for Curley and broken up by Arrington.
Well, we talked about the running game and the improvement there. There's another area that looks much better to me than when we saw them last in Baltimore, right? And that's this back end. The way the secondary's playing, they have a lot more depth than what they've had. Dennard back there. Arrington's now a backup. He's been a starter. Patrick Chung can't even get on the field anymore. This Tavon Wilson leads them with 4 interceptions. He hasn't even played much, and they signed Aqib Talib. So what was once thought of as a weakness is starting to change in my mind.
Improving week to week as the fair catch is made by Welker back at the 17-yard line. 49-12, Pats. Shane Vereen picks up about 7 before the game. Speaking of the Red Cross and first responders, and here were a lot of those folks coming out and helping to lead the Jets out onto the field before the game tonight.
A lot of heroes, those first responders around New York. Unfortunately, they've been having to do too much.
Too busy. Second and 3. And Shane Vereen takes it up to the 41-yard line.
You know, you get in one of these moments and you start thinking about it. Bill Belichick's a guy that known for a long time, but here's a guy, his first job, he got $25 a week.
Before taxes.
Yeah, he said 22 after taxes. But he used to have to take every single play, and draw what every single player on the offense and defense did on every play in Baltimore, and that's how he got his start. And so many of these coaches start exactly like that. I mean, you think it's a glamorous life. It's not when you're 22 and hungry.
Well, nothing gets by him. I mean, that's not real earth-shattering news. Most football fans know that. But, you know, we've been with him for a long time and been in a ton of meetings with him and know him pretty well. And, you know, he doesn't – there's nothing he doesn't miss.
No, and he gives people a chance, just like he got a chance. You know, a guy like Josh McDaniels, those guys, they sit back there like, yeah, you want to be a coach? Fine. Let me show you what you got to do. And most of them quit by the time that they live the life too long because it's not much of a life.
And this is Welker. Washington was able to hold on after building up a big early lead and put a real big dent in the Cowboy hopes. And Brady will, before he gets hit, shovel it off to Danny Woodhead, who gets to the 42-yard line, and we're down under 7 minutes to play. What about those Jets now? I mean, you talk about a team, and clearly we've talked about it a little bit during the course of the telecast, Chris, but they've got to get better players. I mean, you look at that receiver group, that's not very good.
No, it's not. And, of course, you lose Antonio Holmes and you lose Darrelle Revis, probably your two top threats on either side of the ball. Certainly doesn't help. But there's no question they have to be better throwing the football than what they are. You know, Mark Sanchez QB rating since he's gotten the league is pretty mediocre.
Well, you can pin a lot of it on Sanchez, and a lot of the crowd does, and the Jets fan base does. But they really haven't surrounded him with a lot of offensive talent.
No, they haven't. And the Tim Tebow signing this year was, you know, it just created this huge firestorm. And so within your locker room, and there was always a press conference with Tim after practice, and then one with Sanchez, and you look for signs. Was one bothered by the other, and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, meanwhile in New England, nobody says anything about anything, and they just go to work.
And Vereen to the outside. The only thing that some Patriot fans will be wondering about, and they have through the years because they've blown teams out a lot, is why is Tom Brady still in a game that's 49-12 with 5 minutes to play?
Yeah, you know, I hate to say I wouldn't want to Gronk nose. I wouldn't want, but I'd kind of like to see Ryan Mallett a little bit. Here's a guy that's a backup. I know they've been grooming. I've been hearing some good things about him. Now, whether they'd let him go in and throw the ball, I don't know. But, you know, that is true Belichick Patriots fashion. They sort of plant somebody on the bench, and you learn for 3, 4, 5 years behind the best at your particular position. Then all of a sudden, you're kind of ready to play.
You play there, and then you grow moss. Danny Woodhead gets tackled at just about the line of scrimmage, and they'll bring in the punting unit. And Robert Kraft, and there's Jonathan off his left shoulder.
Tell you what, people forget how bad that franchise was when they took it over. There were a lot of issues up there. They did not win many games. More often than not, they were trying to decide who their top 10 draft pick was going to be, and rarely is that ever in the discussion anymore. I did a couple of games. I did a Patriots game against New England. They gave me 6 seconds on the pregame show, and I said, well, loser of this game gets the first overall pick. Back to you, Bob.
At least there was something to talk about.
That was it. That was my 6 seconds of fame.
And the kick goes into the end zone with 4 minutes to go. Well, the Patriots, one of the original franchises, the Madden Thanksgiving Player of the Game coming up, and we'll wheel that turkey out onto the field, and a couple of lucky recipients. There's that old six-legged job.
Now that's a true turducken, right? That's it. And so one of the legs is turkey, or two of the legs turkey.
Turkey,
two
chicken,
of them, duck.
Right.
Okay.
Stuffed with chicken, stuffed with duck, and about 8,946 fat grams and 4 million carbohydrates.
I think Vince will survive it. That's probably going to be Vince Wilfork's first question. How many fat grams in that?
Dumped off to Sean Green. And he got Sanchez. And again, we were talking about Tebow and the crowd chanting for Tebow, but he's going to at least try to continue here. Tebow with a rib issue, there's no doubt about that, as Sanchez gets planted into the ground by Justin Francis, and then that catch is made, and Curley might have been off to the races were it not for starting to stumble, and he takes it to the 35-yard line.
Yeah, there's one guy that's a keeper in this receiving core. Jeremy Curley can play, and in the first game between these two teams, he had over 100 yards receiving and made several big plays to take that one into overtime.
Gain of 36. And Sanchez and picking up some fantasy stats right there as he hits Dustin Keller at the 13-yard line. And you look at Sanchez's numbers on the night and you figure, oh, he's got a really good night, 24-33 for 289, but we know better.
Yeah. Unfortunately, in this division, it's the guy who's playing quarterback on the other side that you got to match.
Into the end zone and too tall for Dustin Keller. Second down.
You know, the interesting guy is going to be Stephen Hill, though. You know, he's going to have an off season to work and to train. I've watched him in practice. I've watched him, studied his tape, and you know, he's like a pitcher that can throw 98 miles an hour, but he throws 98 every time. You know what I mean? And so after a while, you kind of catch up to him and you can gauge him. Whereas the great receivers change speeds and they give you different looks and they explode into breaks and then they hesitate and they go. And I think he can be taught. I really do. I think he'll learn.
And 2nd and 10. Sanchez takes off his first option, then hits his second, and a flag comes in at the end because you heard that the helmet there as Schillens makes the catch.
Yeah, that's Dennard this time. Looked like throwing the forearm in there to the helmet on that one.
Personal foul. Unnecessary number 37 hit on a defenseless receiver. Half the distance to the goal, automatic. First down.
The right forearm's going to come in from Alfonso Dennard and right to the head. A lot of those tonight.
To the 1. And off play action, the pass in the back of the end zone is hauled in for the touchdown by Dustin Keller.
Hey.
There we go, going to come around something like that. Play fake to the right, everybody slides that way, and the old throwback the other way. Tavon Wilson in coverage on that one.
Keller's second touchdown reception of the season, coming with 2:21. And now Folk for the point after, as the Jets close to within 30. 49-19. New England on top of the battle between two original American Football League franchises. AFL started in 1960. The Jets were the New York Titans, playing at the Polo Grounds, and the Patriots were the Boston Patriots, playing all over Boston. Braves Field, Fenway Park, Boston University. You name it, they played there.
Well, I can remember Nick Bonacani talking about some of the places and things in the old AFL and places that he said you can't believe some of the places and games that we had in that league. And
Now, of course, in the AFC East, and a look at the division leaders, we've already posted the New England win. We're really going out on a limb there. Houston 10-1, so they would have home field advantage. Baltimore at 8-2, and Houston will have to play a game in New England on a Monday night in a couple of weeks. And the Broncos solidly in command in the AFC West. Wild card hunt, you got at the moment Indy and Pittsburgh are there, and Cincinnati knocking on the door. And then the rest of the group, and the Jets will drop to 4-7.
Steelers down to their third-string quarterback now with Charlie Batch, so
who knows?
Pretty good third-string quarterback, though.
Well, they go Cleveland this week, and then they go back to Baltimore. And this is Welker, who just slides to a stop at the 14-yard line.
Yeah, but Cleveland put on a heck of a show down in Dallas, right? And they went down there and gave the Cowboys all they want. Of course, who knows how good Dallas is now
at this point.
There we go.
Yeah, there's your man. You were waiting all night. You were waiting all Thursday night for Thursday night.
Where's Faith?
Ryan Mallett comes in, third-round pick, Arkansas. And Tom Brady is done for the evening, 18-27, and there are the numbers. 67%, 144.5 rating. Fairly typical. And Ridley is going to take us to the 2-minute warning. And Ridley's had a very busy night. For Ridley, it's 21 carries and 96 yards. And it's time to take the tape off along the sidelines, because the Pats will be flying home with a 5-game winning streak. 49-19 New England. And a little kneel down here by Mallett. It'll be fourth down, and Belichick can take the headset and the communication devices off. And for the Jets, it's back to training camp. It's back to the rest of the season. It's back to the problems they had a couple weeks ago, and they've all resurfaced after that 1-week respite in St. Louis.
You know, and you look across the way, the hardest part about being in this division is you look across the way at near perfection. There is no question that over the past 10, 11, 12 years, the New England Patriots franchise has been the model.
The punt is fielded at the 44 by Kyle Wilson.
We got to make sure Peter King doesn't think he's one of the stars of the game over there. I could see Peter wandering off the set and checking out one of those turduckens over there.
I'm going to get into it before the stars get out there.
I wouldn't go stand in line in front of Vince, but
so Sanchez will finish out the game. And again, you joined us late, wondering about Tebow. We talked about sore ribs, wearing a flak jacket tonight, so we haven't seen him for even one play. And this is Joe McKnight carrying the ball out to the 50-yard line. So this is going to take us right down to the end of the game. And the New England Patriots, who were 3-3 at the beginning of the season, and those 3 losses were by a composite 4 points. Sanchez and Belichick and Welker and Brady and Belichick and Ryan will meet at midfield. The game is over. What's left of the one-time capacity crowd expressing their displeasure.